So we're joined by a very special guest today, and it's none other than President of the Jamaica Association of Australia, and it's none other than Miss Stephanie Fletcher Larty, Mrs. Stephanie Fletcher Larty. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Simon.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for this time to be able to speak with you. Firstly, tell us a little bit about your background. How did you end up in the land down under?
Oh, thank you. I was born in St. Anne in Bamboo, to be exact, a small community in Bamboo up in the hills of just above St. Anne's Bay called Clayground. And in 2009, I was very blessed to receive a scholarship from the University of Technology in Sydney to pursue a doctoral degree. So I came to Australia in 2009 to study, and I finished in 2013. And I decided that, I want to enjoy some of the land down under. So I stayed back here a little bit, and the rest is kind of like history. Yeah.
Wonderful. Quite a story. And tell us a little bit about roughly how much Jamaicans there are in Australia, both born in Jamaica or born to Jamaican parents or grandparents in Australia.
Yeah. So many people probably would not believe it. It's actually not that many of us here when you think about it, but still, on some terms, it's quite a few. So we have about 1,000 or so Jamaicans who were born in Jamaica. And then we have about 3,000 children of Jamaican heritage. So, like my kids, um, yeah, would make up children of Jamaican parentage who were born here in Australia. So, approximately, we have about around 4,000, between 4,000. And there could be some people that are Jamaicans by descent. So Jamaican around 1,000 born plus about 3,000 children of Jamaican parentage. And we have a few other Jamaicans around that, um, claim Jamaicanness by one way or another. Yeah,
Okay. And as you know, Miss Fletcher Larty, Jamaicans are all over the world. It's no surprise. But
that's right.
quite naturally, we seek opportunities in the States or Canada or the UK. In relation to Australia, what is it that pulls Jamaicans to Australia? Is it school? Is there a particular job that Jamaicans come to Australia for? Normally in Australia, what are the Jamaicans doing?
Look, I think Australia has a certain appeal to people. Australia is one of those countries where opportunities are endless. It's a very multicultural country, and Australians tend to embrace multiculturalism. Many Jamaicans find education here appealing. So a lot of us, like myself, came to study. But there are also Jamaicans who have come from England, like Jamaicans from the Windrush generation who've moved here because Australia is quite open. The economy in Australia is always seeming to be booming. Um, Australian Australia has great fiscal and health policies. That's quite attractive. So living in Australia is not burdensome compared to a lot of other places. And I always say this to people: when you apply for an Australian visa, if you qualify, you get it. If you don't qualify, you don't get it. There's no bells and whistles. Australians don't deny you of a visa because you're black or just because you're from Jamaica. So they have clear policies around migration, and if you meet those requirements, that's it. You get here, and Australia, I think, has the advantage that Australia is a continent, but we have a very small population, and Australia is always looking for migrants who can help build the country, and that is what Australia, I think, does better than a lot of other, first world big economies. They do ask people to come and they open the door. So if you're a nurse or a doctor, or I came here as a public health inspector. That's what I used to do in Jamaica. When I finished my doctorate study, I saw that Australia was asking people with certain skills to stay in the country, and I applied as a public health inspector, and I got my, just like that. I just applied for it by myself. I met their requirements, or I provided what they asked for, and that was it. So Australia is open to giving people that opportunity because Australia wants to benefit from the skills and the expertise that you bring.
Quite a story, quite compelling. And from the Jamaica Association of Australia perspective, how proud are you and the association by extension of seeing our reggae girls go from strength to strength in the country where you reside now?
Simon, now this is where I'm going to switch into my patois, right?
No problem. Go on
I,
through.
I think that is my cue for going into patois, right?
Yes,
But let
yes.
me tell you the truth, it's been amazing. Let me tell you, well, there's a little story to it too. You know, when we found out that the Reggae Girls were going to be coming down under, we were actually approached by the FIFA, approached the association and said, look, we have a cultural ambassador program in place where we really want to get all these countries that are going to be playing in the World Cup. We want to stir the environment. So myself and several others of our association members across Australia were selected as FIFA cultural ambassadors. And I'm telling you, we revved it up. Man, let me tell you something. We dig out everybody from out of any little hole with them in and say, look here, reggae girls are come down here. I want to better get ready for that. So basically, we've just been, promoting the Reggae Girls and their journey through the World Cup. And we have, as I said, a representative is in almost in pretty much every state in Australia. And we've been having events, whether it's a pop-up cookie jerk shop on the corner or a dance the week before or something. Some of our members have been literally going and hosting. We actually had a welcome party for the Reggae Girls, in Melbourne. We've just been getting the community is on fire. We also were really privileged 2 weeks ago to host our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Senator, the Honorable Kamina Johnson Smith, who came here at the invitation of the Australian government. And it was the week after the first game, which I attended in person. So you can imagine the high that we were on. It was so nostalgic. And I remember going to the stadium in Sydney and I saw Jamaicans there who had actually come from Jamaica. So it was such a privilege to welcome them to Australia as the president of the association. And then the following week, I flew to Brisbane to welcome the minister and host a dinner. And the mayor of Brisbane City, they have a big bridge, almost like the Harbour Bridge that we have in Sydney. And they put all the lights, the black, green, and gold on the bridge. So when I was coming in the plane in the night, the whole bridge was lit up in the Jamaican flag colors. You can just imagine I'll be happy. My God, I was jumping up in the plane, seeing like that. It was so amazing. And then Minister flew down to Perth, and I arranged for the group in Perth to meet her, have a few drinks with her before the match in Perth against Panama. And boy, that was something else. And then another group went down to Melbourne and they had, set up their cook shop and everything outside so that people, could come and eat Jamaican food before and after the match. There's such an energy behind the Reggae Girls here right now. I'm telling you. And guess what? The game for tonight is sold out pretty much. So some of us who can't get to watch it in person are going to go online and pay to watch it online. We're having pop-up watch parties in people's houses and wherever we can gather groups of people on just to cheer the girls on. So I'm telling you, we've just been pulling the people out of every nook and cranny, but not just the Jamaicans, the Australians and people from other countries here are throwing their weight behind us. For that first game in Sydney, when we went to the stadium, it felt like we were in Jamaica because everybody had on yellow and green or yellow and black because the Australian colors, as you know, are quite similar. So everybody was rooting for Jamaica. And most people, were rooting for Jamaica. So they put on their colors and the whole stadium, if you look at some of the video, it was literally glittered in yellow and black and green. 39,000 people came out to see our beautiful girls and did they put on a show. And I'm just really praying for great results tonight again.
Yes, absolutely. Miss Stephanie Larty, again, Fletcher Larty, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Continue the great work that you're doing in promoting Jamaican culture. Everything within Australia, we might be a dot on the map, but we've shown that we have made a huge imprint on the world stage. Continue the great work that you're doing. I know it's not a large organization, but day by day, you're doing the best you can with the help around you. So again, thank you so much. It's really appreciated.
Thank you for having me, Simon, and all the best.
Thank you very much. All right, have a good day. And yes, let's continue cheering on the girls.